actually my buddy. You know, I started Locavore just essentially to feed my friends. Now, I remember I went out and bought a whole beef for the first time from a guy that I met on Craigslist. It was a grass-fed beef. And it was honestly the worst beef I think I've ever had in my entire life. And I look back at that moment and it's like, some of these ranchers, you know, they have like, you know, these really poor quality animals, but they have to sell them to somebody. And so when they see somebody like me comes along that has no idea how to buy a whole beef, I'm the guy that ended up with it, and it was terrible. And from that experience, I took like, you know, I think that there's a real opportunity here for me not only to learn how to leverage my chef background and my love for local food, but to actually figure out how to buy and curate really top quality local stuff. You know, that was 12 years ago, and now we have over 20 ranches that we work with locally. I had Cooney pigs up at my place, and they're like really sweet. They're basically like Labradors, but Berkshires are a whole different deal. So they're usually not out in this far pasture over here. No.
Yeah, they're usually just in this closed off part, but so they just busted through.
Yeah, that white one doesn't look pig proof.
Yeah, no.
You know, my background is in food service. My family owned a few small restaurants in upstate New York where I grew up. They were kind of doing like farm to table back before it was like a chic thing to do. Like we raised a lot of our own pigs and a lot of our other animals and stuff, and the pigs were fed scraps from the restaurant, and we would serve produce that was grown in one of our gardens or whatever. And it was just cost effective. You know, they were just trying to make a living. Is that big one? That's one of the sows out there, right? The big one, or is that just?
Yeah, that's a big sow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a water buffalo.
Yeah, seriously.
Never a dull moment out here.
Never.
You know. It's just such a great relationship to have with food that I took for granted when I was a kid. And it wasn't until I moved away from there and I spent some years in the Navy and ended up in Hawaii, where I ended up opening a small restaurant of my own. And that's when I got really dialed in with farm to table cuisine, because in Hawaii, like, everything's pretty much local. If it's good, it's local.
Oh my God, they're all the way over in that pasture too. Yeah, this is gonna be a tough job. Definitely not a one-person job, so.
So what I found with pigs is that you have to, it's kind of like managing people. You have to convince them that they want to do it rather than like,
Yeah.
You know, I moved to Colorado, did a little brief stint in tech after I got out of CU, and I really just wanted to get back into food. Like feeding people is like what really feeds my heart. I just really love it so much. We love feeding our friends, and I love feeding my community. This is one of my favorites. We get about, we can only get about 16 of these in every year. It's a full plate of bison short ribs. It's a full rack. We get these in for Father's Day every year. It's the only time of year I can get them. So this year we got 16 of them. We sold all of them in about a week. But they're just really magnificent. I still haven't been able to cook one yet because I always forget to save one for myself, and they're always all sold. But I mean, Locavore is someone who likes to eat locally and then deliver. So it's pretty, you know, it's just a pretty straightforward name. I'm a pretty straightforward dude. Not a lot of fluff. So High Point Bison is in Pine Bluff, Wyoming, and their ranch straddles the Nebraska, Colorado, and Wyoming border. But they are, when we started working with them about 10 years ago, only about maybe 20% of the bison in the country was 100% grass-fed, and they were a grass-fed ranch. And now it's a bit more, but these guys really led the charge on that. Good stuff. Our dinosaur logo is actually very funny, because my friend Rose, a dear friend of mine, I asked her to design the logo for me. She's an illustrator. And so she designed the dinosaur for me with the roller skates and the whole deal. And it wasn't until about 6 months later that it occurred to me that she gave us a brontosaurus, which is a vegan dinosaur. Well, Rose is vegetarian. So she like snuck in this vegan dinosaur in my logo without me even noticing. Yeah, so me too. Still makes me laugh. Yeah.
You might know better than I would.
Yeah, so there's different I know the Berkshires are really, my customers really like the Berkshires. The meat tends to be really like a dark red, and then the fat profile, like they have really good marbling, but they're not overly fatty. Some of the heritage breeds, I raised some Coonies, and they were really good, but they're a slower growing breed, and they get really marbled out, like they're really fatty. The Berkshires are a nice mix. They grow real fast, pretty fast, not as fast as like commercial pink pigs, but they're slower than that. But they marble out really nice. And I mean, the downside is that I've heard that they're quite a handful. To pigs, all the different breeds have different personalities, and Berkshires can be a little temperamental.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that I'm seeing, like, in this post-COVID kind of thing is, like, everybody wants to do home delivery. You can buy, there's a ton of people selling meat direct online. And one of the things I'm also seeing is there's a lot of, like, gray area and a lot of muddling between, like, folks, like, advertise local and they advertise pasture raised, but there's not really any standards that they're super clear about. They just use these buzzwords, and people hear the buzzwords and they buy based on those buzzwords. But there's not really any standards. And that's one of the things that we are really strict on around here is I don't sell anything that's not pasture raised and local. Very few exceptions, less than 1% of what we sell. We have some things that are processed here locally that are just really, really good, but they're very clearly marked on our website that they're not pasture raised.
Our butchers do a real good job of cutting all the specialty stuff for us. So we try to we actually just got done transitioning over from all of our winter cuts kind of to our summer cuts, so we have a lot of that stuff now.
But that's the thing that really makes us different is that everything, 100% of the things we sell are marked as pasture raised, and they are. The USDA has very strict definitions of a lot of descriptive words you use with food, but there's not one for pasture raised. So what I say is pasture raised and what some of my competitors say is pasture raised could mean two entirely different things. And so for us, we call it our no cages, no drugs, no bullshit guarantee, because it's just like it sounds. Like there's no, our animals are never sent to a feedlot. Most of our animals are born and harvested on the same ranch, so they're not trucked around, and there's not like this whole shell game.
Do you guys shear them, or you have somebody come out to shear them?
So someone comes out. We have this guy. He comes from Wyoming.
Yeah.
And he just shears all around here, pretty much all the properties that own sheeps.
Yeah.
One guy shears them.
Yeah.
And he's like a pro. He has an award for fastest shearer in the nation or something crazy
golden
like that.
shears or some shit.
Yeah,
Totally.
It's pretty funny.
When I was younger, I lived in New Zealand for a couple of years, and I worked on a sheep farm, and they had these professional sheep crews that would come around to all the sheep farms, to shear all the. And these are wool sheep, so they'd shear them all the time for all that stuff. I operated the baler, so I got to watch all the guys shear the sheep, and I just baled all the wool, and it was amazing how fast they were.
We offer something that a lot of our competitors can't, and that's 100% transparency. If any of our customers want to go out and see the ranches, and want to go out and meet the farmers and do whatever, we don't, we actually help facilitate that process. We don't tell them no or just give them a list of talking points of things we want to say about the ranch. We invite people, and I encourage people to do their own research and to see for themselves where their food comes from.
But one of the things I really like about the way that Clint and Mary Kay do it is they have breeding programs for all their animals. So they have sows, and they breed the sows, and so the piglets are born on this ranch, and then they live their whole lives here and they're harvested here. So it really reduces stress for the animals. Pigs don't naturally want to go in the back of the truck. And the same with the lambs. They don't buy baby lambs and raise them out here. They have their own breeding program and do it here, which is a lot harder. It's a lot more work, and it's a lot more expensive. They have to keep those sows alive all winter long and feed them, for years. But it just produces a better quality product, and the animals are happier. It's just really easy to see exactly how everything is done and to verify everything, which is important for me, for my customer.
The pasture-raised meats that we sell are more nutrient dense. than anything you're gonna get at the grocery store. It's food that's in integrity, like it's raised with integrity, it's harvested with integrity, and it just feels good in your body. I curate everything. Like I'm a chef, I'm very picky. This is all that we eat, my family and my friends. And so you can have the best intentioned meat in the world, but if it doesn't taste good, then you're not gonna buy it again and you're not gonna wanna keep eating it. So I make sure everything that we sell tastes good.
So there is a seasonality to it. For the beef that they raise, the grass-fed beef, I notice just because I buy so much of it and I can see it as it goes through the season. The beef that is finished on grass all summer long when the grass is real green and lush, like in the spring, the stuff that they harvest in like October, September, around there is really, really just a whole different flavor profile than the beef that is finished on grass hay in the middle of winter. And it's just, and again, unless you buy a lot of it or see them side by side, like most people wouldn't really be able to tell the difference,
Sure.
but there's some subtle differences in flavor in there for sure.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
As you get it, you can freeze it. The quality is so good that it lasts all winter long, all year long in your freezer.
Yep.
And then you just thaw it once, and the meat is just as good quality as when it was completely fresh, which is hard to find in like store-bought or non-local meat, especially after transport. Like freeze, thaw, like that's
Yep.
when meat really starts to lose nutritional value. And
Yeah, the texture gets all wonky.
Exactly.
It goes sideways in a hurry.
At the end of the day, I encourage everyone to eat based on their own values. We strive to be really clear about what ours are. And I hope that the kind of customers that we attract are in line with our values, because I think that's the most important sort of determining factor in buying food. You know, we've been at this a long time and we've gotten really good at what we do. Our sourcing is really good. Our quality is really good, and we don't compromise anywhere. Like there's no compromises in our supply chain. Being able to curate food with that kind of integrity is just really important to me, and it's in line with, I mean, that's just the kind of company that we wanted to build. And I can say that after the number of years we've been in business, like we're there. We have everything that we offer is really top notch.
Yeah, I feel very strongly about supporting families that choose to farm. It is not an easy way to do things. It's just not an easy thing to do. Once these small family farms are gone, they don't come back. Like, and if I can help connect them with customers who value their work as much as I do, and help them stay in business for another generation or two, that it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to my customers to be able to find and have access to products that are raised by people that really care about the whole process and the whole life cycle. I'm just, every time I come out here, I'm blown away by just how much like living stuff is out here. There's tons of birds everywhere. There's a bunch of bees over there, and we actually sell honey from those hives. And just everything. It's just a really flourishing ecosystem. I think it is really important to support it while it's here.
We deliver to about 500 or 600 customers a month in Denver and Boulder. We're small by design. I get people ask me all the time, we could like raise money and grow and scale and whatever, but I like being small. I like it because I know most of my customers. I have a small team and I just love everybody that I work with. I love everybody on my team. And it's just great to have like that really intimate connection with food, and I think that some things don't scale well, and I think that this is one of them.
There's a reason why, when you go around to all of the top restaurants on the Front Range, 70% of them buy their meat from here. So those are chefs that are buying the stuff because they know what's up. Yeah, not all the animals around here are for food. This one survived last Thanksgiving because she's so sweet. So.
Is that true?
Yeah. Like a baby dinosaur.
put her on her head.
She loves it.
We have ordering from us is super easy. We've invested really heavily on the tech side, so it makes it super straightforward. We offer subscriptions, and they're fully customizable, and you can cancel them anytime.
I love when I show these to people and they tell me that cows can't get well marbled on grass alone. And it's like these are prime plus steaks. Consistently, they're really, really good.
Yeah, look at that ribeye down there too.
Oh yeah, I already bought most of your ribeyes, but I might have to come back and get a couple more.
We also offer a full a la carte butcher shop. So if you just want to order a couple of cuts one time only to check it out, you can do that. And we offer some bulk boxes too if you have a larger family and you want to save some money. And it's super straightforward. Just order on the website. It'll tell you when your delivery day is. We don't do any shipping, so everything's delivered in our own freezer vans by our own employees. And again, like we pay everyone a living wage. We don't accept tips because I just believe in paying people. When you order, you'll get a delivery day. You put a cooler out on your porch, and we'll deliver into that cooler, and then you get a text message when it arrives.
Cool.
Yep.
Super simple.
Super simple.